Hey everyone, we are on our way up to Clare, Michigan. We've been talking for a few weeks now about the ride up with Emerson Power Sports, and we just took off about a half hour ago. And right on cue, it's raining. It seems like every time we have some sort of UTV or ATV or anything fun planned, really, there's rain happening. And the forecast for this weekend is not particularly pleasant. We're looking at a high of 32, a low of 10, and there is snow on the ground right now. So it's going to be neat. But we're heading up anyways, and wanted to give you kind of a kickoff video. We're going to do somewhat like we did for the video of picking up Chad's new Razor XP Turbo. Just wanted to give you kind of a, hey, here's where we are, here's where we're going, here's what we're doing. And so this is the kickoff video, and don't have a ton more to say than that, other than Chad's driving again.
Yep, nothing amazing happened yet. We're just on the road, like Doug said, about a half an hour, and I'll sit here behind the wheel for about another 5 hours, and that'll be the excitement for the day.
You might let me drive.
I might.
Maybe. Well, good morning everyone. It's about, I don't know, 6:30 or so, and we're just getting ready to get out of here for the day, but Chad has his enormous burrito.
Poor life choices are being made.
Yeah, we're just commenting it's going to turn into enormous something else in about an hour, hopefully before the ride hits.
Not in the seats, no.
Just because you've only got an hour on the machine doesn't mean I can't sort it.
Please do not.
So anyways, it's about 16 degrees outside. We left waters in the bed of the truck last night, and they are frozen solid.
We don't have ice blocks.
We don't have ice blocks that we can throw at other riders. We don't have a horn, so we got to get a hold of them somehow.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best we can do. So we won't bore you too much this morning, but we're here. We made it in about 11:30 last night. It's cold, and we're going to go riding today. So, yeah, if we survive until lunch or whatever, we'll
update you.
We'll update you again. But we're going to eat quick and get over to the dealership as soon as we can, so we have some extra time to take a look at the Double X and do some filming and, you know, bring you guys what we got. All right, we've made it to Emerson Power Sports. It is wicked cold. You can tell my face is already red. We rode from the parking lot up to the building, and it's that cold.
It's legitimate cold. It's like 11.
Chad's complaining, which is, you know, it's bad
and
when
I've built up fat for this.
like a grizzly bear.
Yes, I am.
So they say summer bodies are built in the winter, so this is what you're getting this year. But we're waiting for the doors to open. Some riders are starting to show up, and I'm going to flip the camera around here. Sorry about the hand in front of the lens, but show you a little bit of the operation. It looks, is the door opening? The door is opening. That means there's heat inside. So I'm gonna do a real quick kind of just look around here with the front camera, because it won't let me flip it while I'm in the video, conveniently enough. But kind of give you the little bit of a panorama here. So there is Harrison. So I'm gonna head inside where it's warm and warm up my hands, which are already starting to hurt. But we'll catch up with you guys. And you hear stuff happening over here. As soon as we can, we're gonna get you a look at that new Double X. Well, here we are inside Emerson Power Sports. It's gonna give you a quick video tour of the store. So they do a lot of boat and marine stuff here as well. That's all very, very big up here in Michigan. So he's got some pontoons in here, that sort of thing. But there might be something up here that you in the UTV crowd are a little more interested in. Of course, it's the Sandpit. That's what you want to see, right? The high lifter, utility vehicles. Now, I gotta take you over here and show you the Double X.
Did you see the Wildcat on trail? And he said the trail number. And I'm like,
So there it is in the flesh. That is new Wildcat Double X, and we're going to get a better look at this thing later. We're going to actually get to hear it run, and we are actually going to get to ride in it, assuming we're not frozen solid by that point. Little shot of the inside here. One thing I noticed, this thing has an absolutely enormous glove box. I mean, you could fit a small child in there if you needed to, if they get rowdy. Dash panel. Kind of get a sense of it there. The windshield's a little smaller than I thought it would be. It's a little hard to get a sense when you're sitting in it of where exactly the front wheels are, but like any machine, if you drive it long enough, you'll get a sense of that. So you've seen the promotional shots and stuff, but front suspension, there's those famously beefy front A-arms right there. And I really like the back setup here. I hadn't seen this previous, but this is the rear suspension setup. And you can see just how stout this is. This is not just two pieces of, you know, stamped sheet metal welded together. This is thick. So it definitely looks beefy, like it is going to hold up. Like I said, we'll do a little more in-depth look at this later when we actually get to ride in one, but as you can see, people are gathering. We're going to get going on this ride pretty soon. There's going to be riders meeting starting up here in about a half hour, and we'll get back with you later here from Emerson Power Sports up here in Michigan. As terrifying as that might be, we're going to start the next segment with Chad.
I'm sorry.
So we made it to the halfway point of the trail. Give you a kind of a look at the UTV crowd that's here. I apologize, there's probably a bunch of wind noise. You can see the flag in the background. There's a fair amount of wind today. But this isn't even the entire crew. A lot of people are around eating lunch. They're in town getting fuel. It was a long ride. We used about 6 gallons getting here. And I mean, a lot of that was because we did some rather spirited driving, but there's no way, we wouldn't have made it to and from even with the extra fuel in the roto pack, so I was glad there was a gas station here we were able to stop at. So everyone's kind of fueling up, fooding up, and then we're going to do the ride back, but it is cold. You can see by the snow on the ground, we're nowhere near the temperature where water is doing the whole liquid thing. So Chad, we're at the halfway point. What's your I can't talk today. Impression, my face is frozen.
I'll help you, it's okay.
Impression of your new baby.
I really like it. There are the few things on it that are going to take some getting used to, I'm sure. The four-wheel drive system is way different than what I'm used to. The seats do, I'm not going to say they move, but they're kind of flexy. They're not in there tight. Like, I mean, they're in there the way they're supposed to be. They're just not completely solid mount.
Yeah.
So it feels a little different. Maybe I'll get used to it, or maybe I'll just swap out seats. Overall, I really like the machine. There's a couple things that are glaring that I know I need to get that I had on previous machines that I just never thought I really used that much, but in hindsight, yes I did, and I want them now. So I'll go do that at some point. I will have to say the Michigan trails, as cold and as nasty as it is, man, the trails are amazing up here. I'm definitely coming back in the summer or fall, sometime when it's not 20 degrees out, and it would be an amazing trip. Man, they're not like perfectly graded smooth, but it's sand and it's nice smooth trails, and there's some good jump sections, and I mean, it's just nice scenic sections too, where it would really be awesome in the summer. So.
All right, we're gonna finish getting out of here once everybody has eaten and done their thing, and you can still see there goes the double X. He's making a fuel run himself, and then we're gonna have some chances for people to demo that machine and take it over to the Sandpit and have a little fun with it, and you'll get a little bit better idea about what it's all about at that point. But in the meantime, there's some more snow for you, especially for all of our listeners and or viewers who are in California or Florida or Texas and they don't even know what this white stuff is. This is what it's like to ride hardcore. Anyways, we'll catch up with you guys in just a little bit. We're out here at the Sandpit. You can hear the Textron fired up and doing its thing. Want to give you guys another walk around and then show you what we did to it. If you're just joining us, as in you've just found our channel and our YouTube videos and whatnot, you need to go back in time a little bit and kind of get a sense of what Eminent Performance tends to do to vehicles to appreciate this.
I avoid warranties.
Chad voids warranties. So without further ado, I'm going to circle around to the back here. So this thing is less than 100 miles on it. Barely broken in, one might say. But now, it is broken down. So what that was, for anybody who didn't recognize it, is the rear axle. Chad managed to snap it out there. Honestly, we're pretty surprised it gave. We weren't really being that hard on it, but it gave out. So we can't really give you a ton more information about it. Chad and I both got to drive it. I drove it with 3 wheels, not realizing the axle was broken until something felt weird, and I decided to come back in. But I'll tell you what, initial impressions, the power for a non-turbo machine is impressive, and the suspension on this thing is sorted out. There's some pretty big whoops out there in the sand. You see them running around the back there, and it's like they're not even there. I came up over one, I let off the power because I knew I hit it pretty hard, and when the back end came down, it felt like it wasn't even there. In fact, I'm gonna wait for this razor to come around again, and I'll show you the exact whoop I'm talking about, because this razor just put his whole back end in the air, and when I went around it, it's like it wasn't even there. It just settled in, and that was it. So here it comes again. We'll see if he hits it hard enough again to buck that back end. You can see he didn't quite get it in the air that time. You can see how rough that was. Man, this thing just went right over it like it was nobody's business. So I'm going to give Textron props. We don't know what happened to the axle. We didn't come down under power at any point that it should have broken it. But sometimes these things just happen. Maybe we found the weak link, tough to say. So we're a little disappointed we can't give you any footage of us actually driving it any more than we have. I've got a little bit of footage I'm going to cut into this video, but not a ton. But it really is an impressive machine. It's a good start for Wildcat Textron, and we're really looking forward to great things to come. And when this thing becomes a turbo machine, it's going to be an absolute animal. We are back in the truck. Wanted to give you guys a heads up that the ride was over and kind of do a brief recap. As I cut this together, you will have already seen that we kind of broke the new Double X.
I'm sorry.
Little bits.
They didn't make it knee-proof. They just didn't.
No, they really, really didn't. They failed miserably. But like I said, they should honestly, you know, have you test stuff, and if you can't break it, then it literally is indestructible.
I didn't crash it. Let's straighten this out. I didn't crash it.
Well, and honestly, the way it broke, it shouldn't have happened anyway, so we're a little dubious what happened.
What it did was it sheared the axle right at the CV cup where the splines go into that carrier that holds the balls.
So we're not really sure why. We weren't pushing that hard, and we were in sand, so there weren't any jumps. It's not like we came down under power. None of that stuff. So we're trying to figure that one out. But yes, I want to go south. So giving him directions because we had a little snafu with that the other night. Might have been my fault. But anyways, the rest of the ride was pretty good. Emerson was able to get it someplace where he can go and tow it, you know, grab a trailer and get it later this week. Everyone made it back safe and sound, even though none of us quite knew the way. There was enough of us that sort of knew the way that we got it all figured out.
We faked it until we made it.
Exactly. So we're back on the road. We're not going to be home till about midnight by the time it's all said and done. We're going to have to stop at least once for fuel. Definitely going to have to stop and get dinner here pretty quick because it's after 6 o'clock already. But you know, it was a fun day, and I apologize. I really wanted to put more ride footage in. We kind of screwed that up too. Had the GoPros mounted.
Hey, I found the SD cards.
Hey,
there.
wait, hold on. I'm going to hand in the way for a second. Hey, look.
I found the SD cards. They're right there in my cup holder thing.
That's kind of the piece we were missing, was the SD cards. Because I kept asking Chad, I'm like, how do you do this? He's like, well, press the button on the front and then the one on the top. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. It's just flashing at me. So I unmounted it and looked at the little display on the front and it says no SD card. So I did get some footage when we stopped near the test bowl area, so I don't know where that's going to end up. You may have already seen it, depending on how I cut this thing together. If not, it'll be after this. But yeah, we apologize. We wanted to get more footage than that, and it just didn't quite work out. Anyways, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about from this ride, and we're not going to do it all here in this video. This is a teaser, so make sure you listen to the next podcast. The one that's coming out here in a couple of days on Tuesday won't have this stuff in it, so it'll be the following Tuesday. So you will have seen this video before then, but make sure you check that podcast out for information on the ride. And the one after that's going to have race stuff in it, because we'll be back at the races by then. So there's lots of good stuff coming up. Met some great people today. We're able to spread the word about the podcast and some of this other stuff we're doing, so hopefully that continues to grow. But in the meantime, we're just having fun regardless if we're the only people who will watch this video. But we have some inkling that there's probably at least 3 or 4 of you out there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find a Kleenex and blow my nose, because I have been like having allergy fits for the last half of that ride for some reason.
You're sneezing in the intercom.
In the intercom, Chad loves that. I was making a conscious effort to not do it though. I was
Try
like,
not to sneeze at all.
don't
It's achoo right in the intercom, and it's amplified in my ears.
I'm just your cross to bear.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll catch up with you later.
Thanks, guys.